Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nenna, and today we're starting the second season of Not So Very. Hi guys, if you haven't seen the first season, I would highly recommend it. Maybe some of the story will make more sense. Let's start with the rules. Okay, so we're at Little Simsy's Tumble. For the second generation, I have a character called Rosie, and I thought that her name could later turn into Rosie Rose. You know how strippers have names? I'm not saying Rosie is a stripper, but if she was a stripper, Rosie Rose would be like her stripper name. Are we getting anywhere with the story? Rosie has a not stripper name, okay, and I want her to have that name because I think it is really cute. I'm just going to quickly read you through the original rule, you know, what we're getting into, and then I'll show you what I have written down and changed because obviously this is for The Sims 4 and not everything is available for The Sims 4 or for The Sims 2 from The Sims 4. You had everything you desired as a child, but you were always longing for more, and as an adult you have a hard time committing to relationships as you're so focused on your career. If we had a workaholic trait in The Sims 4, you would have it. You have absolutely no parental instincts whatsoever, but you still love your child with all your heart. Traits: hot-headed, snob, romantic. Aspiration: serial romantic. Career: politician. Rules: have only one child. Master the politician career and complete serial romantic aspiration. Master charisma skill. Leave someone at the altar or get married for the first time as an elder. This is another website I'm using, and this is what it says for that particular generation. We can go into the politics, career, romance, aspiration. For the rest, everything kind of matches. It was pretty much true to, I guess, The Sims 4. There wasn't much of a difference. I know you guys are interested in what I have written down. So, Generation 2, Rose. Now, I have changed this to her personality because I like to give it my own spin, and Rosie turned out a little different than the Rosie from the other gen. And see, in The Sims 4, you can easily go back and change her personality, but in The Sims 2, that's really hard to do. I mean, you could. I don't really want to. I feel like that's just a way to make it really original, and I do like that. So Generation 2, you had everything you desired as a child, but you were always longing for more. So as an adult, you have a hard time committing to relationships because you long for a kind of love your parents couldn't give you. And this is very important, and I'll explain why in a second. You hate people who put their work before you, and you struggle keeping a job because of it. Despite all, you have a dream to go into politics. You have absolutely no parental instincts whatsoever, but you still love your child with all your heart, and you promise to do better than your parents. I thought about it. Rosie had, and I'll dive into it later, but Rosie had a very difficult upbringing because she was, first of all, unwanted. Say we have her mother, Pepper, and then we have her other mother, Danielle. Pepper got Danielle pregnant. Let's just call Pepper her mother for a second. Danielle is her other mother, but just to make things easier, I'm gonna call her the father. I was like, because I could just talk about Pepper and Danielle in that, I mean, or whatever. Mother got the father pregnant. Now that already sounds really strange. Father then said to the mother, I am not going to give this baby up. I want this baby. And the mother said, okay, but I don't want to raise a child. I have no desire for raising a child. The father had the baby. Mother's like, okay, you want to raise it? And they were already split by that. Father said, hey, here's the baby, and left it at the mother's doorstep and then disappeared until the baby was a teenager. Her mother, Pepper, is the one who raised Rosie as her other mother, or her father in this story. And so I figured because of that, she would have a really hard time with relationships because of the love that her parents couldn't give her, the love her mother couldn't give her because she wasn't maternal. She had no desire for raising a child. She raised her the best that she could, but she never wanted her. So in theory, she was an unwanted child. That reflected in her upbringing in a way, not entirely, but in a way. And her other mother, her father in this case, sticking to the, great idea to call her the father. The father decided that she wouldn't be in the picture at all. And it made Rosie feel very unwanted. And because of that, she started seeking love in other places. And because of Pepper, her mother's dream, she often put her work before Rosie, which makes Rosie hate people who do the same. And that part is different from the Sims 4 one. And that really fits true to her character. I've never seen Rosie go into the politics, but I didn't want to change that. And another thing that I really did change, because she's an active sim, I figured for her likes, I would give her active and great cook, and she dislikes a hard worker for the reasons that I named earlier. Now, her personality is she loves cleaning. Her mother is a neat freak, so she turned out obsessed with cleaning as well, and I didn't want to change that. Very introverted sim. She likes to keep to herself. She's very serious, like I said, active, but she did get her mother's grumpy side. I wanted to write a book about politics. You know what? I actually wrote this rule down like months ago when I was still playing the first gen. I think when I was still designing the first gen with the rules, I made the rules for the second gen as well, and then I was like, let's add a book. Objectives, they can vary depending on the mood that I'm in, but that's kind of what we're gonna go for. Guys, we are officially in game, and I am so excited to start the second generation. I want to introduce you guys to The Sims, and if you haven't seen the house, I did a video on it. I think it's the last video in the playlist, or it's the first video in the new playlist. Hope that makes sense. This is Pepper's new house. If you guys are not familiar with these characters, I mean, there is the option to watch my playlist to see all the episodes for yourself, but I'm just gonna do a quick rundown on the characters. So this is our hair, Peppermint, and I love her so incredibly much. She is such a fun character to play with. She has maxed all her skills. That was one of the rules that I set for the last generation. She did max her or she did accomplish, how do I say it? She did reach the top of her career. However, she ended up getting voted because I picked the wrong choice. So she still wants to reach it, or she wants to reach it again, I suppose. Reach it twice. I mean, you might as well. So I'm gonna have her get some of this. I think this is like cereal. I mean, I'm not sure why we're eating cereal at 9 p.m. Whatever. Live your life, girl. And Pepper has. Let me just show you. Let me just quickly bring you through it. Pepper knows Ellie Spencer and Karivu. These two people are our employees, and they work for us. Then we have our two best friends, Nerissa Fell and Sharon Pons. Now, these two used to be a good witch and a bad witch, and these were the only two people Pepper could befriend because she's very grumpy, and everyone else would be kind of like scared off. But these two people are the ones that stuck through her through thick and thin, and they're so important to her, and I love these characters. As far as I know, Nerissa doesn't have Nerissa did have a crush on Pepper, but it didn't work out. Nerissa is, I think, an elder now. And Pepper used to be a little bit older, but I guess because of like the preparing and, you know, everything that happened that I explained in the other video, she's a little younger now, but, you know, that'll do, I guess. We still need her for the next gen, so maybe it's a good thing she's not already an elder, so we can actually, use her for the yellow gen. Then we know another sim. This is May. Now, May is a character that one of you made in the last season, and I gave her a makeover for this season, but May is a young adult, and she's like a mom. I think her husband died, but she had 3 kids. She has twins and a new baby, and she's a painter. As far as I know, she had her own store, but the store bugged out, so no store, no more. Then we have Brittany. We also really like Brittany. We have a relationship, well, we had a relationship with her, but Brittany ended up not being compatible as well, and she also works for us. I want to apologize if this part of the video is lesser quality or the sound, the audio difference is noticeable. I am having some troubles with my audio recording software, so I quickly skipped over to this one. This one is a little less quality, but it works a little smoother, and the file sizes are reduced, so I'm hoping that it'll let me record the last part of this video. However, like I said, there is a bit of a difference because the quality and the program, you know what I'm saying, right? Well, if that's not creepy, I wouldn't want to wake up and have a robot staring at me personally. Last person I want to talk about is Danielle. And you know, Danielle is the former lover of Pepper, her former wife, and the other mother, I guess the mother that carried Rosie. And you guys know what happened with that, but let me quickly talk you through it just in case I haven't already said it, because I'm recording this the next day, so I'm not exactly sure what I talked about. Danielle never really raised Rosie. She wasn't around for many years, and she kind of came back, I think, around her beginning of her teens, maybe a little earlier. I don't exactly remember, but she wasn't around, and Pepper did try to include her when she was a toddler, but she just never really wanted to be included, which frustrated Pepper a lot because Danielle was the one who said that she wanted to have this baby. She said that she was the one who wanted to take care of it, and Pepper made it very clear that she didn't want anything to do with the baby. She just doesn't want to raise a kid. She just doesn't. She doesn't care about children. And unfortunately, Danielle didn't stick to her end of the bargain, and she broke her promise as soon as the baby was born. She dropped it off. She dropped the baby off at Pepper's house, and she basically just said, well, you deal with it. And of course, Pepper could have put the baby up for adoption, but since it was her own blood, there was something in her, like a little bit of maternal instincts that said, I don't want a stranger raising my child. If it's not going to be Danielle, it's going to have to be me. Which was a really surprising thing, actually, because I knew that Pepper was, you know, not into children, but I didn't think that she would end up caring as much as she does for Rosie. Obviously, she has her flaws, but I mean, we all do, which in her case resulted in maybe a bit of a personality problem within Rosie, and I think Danielle definitely contributed to that. I was really surprised, you guys. I did not think that she would take the baby in and we would have much as a good time as we actually did. She ended up having a really good time, so I'm really, like, I don't think Pepper regrets her time, but in a way, she does wish that things were different because she had to live her life a different way than she wanted to. And sometimes it's really hard to accept. Pepper wanted a life of work and chasing down her goals, her career goals, and whilst doing that, she also had to take care of a young baby. It forced her to make compromises and to give up things that she wanted for many years just to take care of this baby that she never wanted. And Danielle never really put any effort into raising Rosie. She didn't really, like I said, she just didn't care. She was just never around. She truly just did not care. And it wasn't until Danielle got her new girlfriend that she suddenly was very interested in Rosie, which makes me believe that she only has intentions of bonding with Rosie. One, to bug Pepper, and two, to please her current wife, I should say, because she did remarry, which I think is just so funny that she couldn't be around for her daughter just because her daughter needed her, but she can be around for her new girlfriend or her new wife and to please her new wife, you know. Pepper sees right through it, but poor Rosie, she doesn't, and she truly believes that her mother certainly wants to come back in her life. And I highly recommend you guys listening, you can listen to it if you want, but I highly recommend you guys watching the other part that I did, I think the finale or the one before that, because it touches upon the relationship with Danielle and Rosie a lot, and also about Pepper's thoughts about it and her doubts. And I think that watching that is going to give you more than anything I can currently tell you. Danielle is trying to become a rock star, I think, and she's living, you know, she's decently off for, you know, for her career that she has, and for the amount of work and effort she puts into it. She's not super famous, but she does have a few records here and there, and she's really good and talented. Like, we're not gonna deny that she does have good qualities, but she's just a horrible person, basically. I'm just gonna quickly talk you through the last few members of the family before I head over to Rosie and share you some of her personality traits and dreams and stuff like that. So we have two cats called Mrs. Mittens and Rocco. And Rocco's actually not a cat, he is a skunk, and I keep calling him a raccoon. It's definitely my fault. Naming a raccoon Rocco. No, see, there I go again. Naming a skunk Rocco. I don't think about his name starting with an R that makes me go like raccoon, not skunk, but whatever. He's a skunk. And then we have two kittens, Cherry and Pomegranate, who are, if you are familiar with this series, you will know that they used to be adults themselves, but we kind of set back time a little bit because things were heading out of control and we're not even done with her teenage years, and I wanted the kittens to kind of move with her, and I thought at this current rate they wouldn't even like survive past, you know, her teens. They would be elders by the time you actually get to play with her in her own house. So I kind of like, you know, set the time back a little bit. Not much. I don't want to ruin and like change too much. But why are you playing poker? Okay, well, you have fun doing that, Rosie. And have the robots. We have Pleb and Blab, and one of them is married to Pepper and the other one is just like her housemaid. And I think Rosie definitely thinks her mother is crazy for being married to a robot, but you know what? So be it, right? So be it. So let me just talk you guys through Rosie. Like, what are the last things? Obviously, we're gonna know more about these characters once we do play the first episode. This is more of an introduction, so it's a lot of talking, a lot of explaining, but I do want to do them because I feel like some people really want to know before we start what the characters are, what kind of things we missed, the most important things, and I personally just love like talking about my little Sims. Alright, so Rosie is identical to her mother. The only difference that she has is that she's more active and she's very grumpy. And one of the things that she struggles with a lot is her body issues. And she's the type of sim that was a bit oblivious. And with oblivious, I mean that she grew up thinking that everything was fine. So she's a bit bigger than her classmates. And I know that The Sims 2 doesn't exactly have very extreme body types, but her body shape is at the lowest of the fitness. I don't exactly would consider this necessarily fat, because obviously it's like The Sims 2, you don't really look like you can't look like you're actually fat or look like you're super, I mean, I guess you can look super skinny because they do, but you know what I'm saying, like there's no curves, there's no, you know what I'm saying. So we're just gonna have to imagine it, but I like to imagine that Rosie's actually kind of like pretty overweight. Fat is a hard word, isn't it? It's a really harsh word, but she's pretty overweight. Even though she doesn't look like it, we're just gonna have to, you know, kind of make up some things, right? But she is pretty overweight, and she's been bullied with this, and she just doesn't really understand why that's such a big deal to people, the way that she looks. But yeah, she's being bullied for that, and it just made her really insecure. Though she's very active, she kind of like eats her feelings away, counteracts with all the fitness that she does, like all the exercise and like the fun active stuff that she does. If you eat that much, nothing you do is gonna make a difference. Like you're gonna gain weight regardless. And I really want to discover and maybe try and play out some more different, not necessarily disorders, because that's obviously a big statement, but maybe some problems, like some diverse problems. And I think that a girl like Rosie that keeps everything to herself would definitely have ways to cope. And I think food for her is just that she doesn't just have one bowl, she has two bowls. She doesn't have one cookie, she has like 6 cookies, you know what I mean? And I think that that's something I want to explore, because it is something that makes her really insecure, and I could definitely see her getting into maybe an addiction to like fitness, and it like taking over her life, you know, her everyday life. Perhaps it's not as big of a deal as we think it will be. I'm just speculating at this point, like maybe, but I'm gonna try and incorporate some of that, because I definitely think it's gonna add to her character, because she's gonna turn out very vain, and I want to make her as vain as possible. I want her to do drastic transformations and change herself for other people. That's the kind of story I want to go with. Insecurity, turning this girl from just this cute, pure, innocent girl that struggles with family and relationships and finding love, turning into, well, she wants to turn into the poster behind her. Let's just say it like that. This is what she aspires to be: slim and hot and like sexy, and you know, everything that she currently isn't. And she looks up to that photo, and she looks up to Pepper as well. And she's also being bullied because her mother is married to a robot, and she's been bullied because of her hair, and she used to have a unibrow, which she was bullied for, and she took care of that because it was like one of the easier things to do, you know, like you just have to pluck some hairs and be done with it, you know what I mean? But you know, actual like working out and changing your body shape, that's going to require dedication. And as long as your mental health is kind of bad, I'm not exactly sure you can fix your body. I mean, some people do fix their body and then they fix their mental health, but some people really need to fix their mental health first before they start doing anything to their body. And I think Rosie's like one of those where you have to change the mind first before you can change the body, and only if she wants to. I think she's perfect the way that she is, even if we can't see how big she actually is in my ideas. She's still perfect the way that she is, and maybe I can find some custom content that can actually make her look bigger, which would be perfect, because it would definitely, you know, give you a chance to visualize what I'm trying to say here. Talking about that, she has a few friends, and one of the friends that she had, well, friends, my god, friends? Those are not her friends. If you happen to see the other episodes, you know that she actually got tricked by one of these people into her first kiss. Into her thinking she was going to get a first kiss, and then she got horribly rejected, which it was an embarrassment for her. It was so embarrassing. Tim, who is the guy that she actually ended up, you know, trying to kiss, which was a different person, but the Sims that were in the last few episodes, they don't actually exist anymore because the family keeps bugging out. So I ended up making Tim the one that she actually ended up kissing. So we're just going to have to, you know, do a slight adjustment there. And then, of course, there are the other two siblings of Tim, because Tim is from the Picasso family. We have Mandy, Jonna. They're not twins, but these girls are horrible. They bully her. They're the mean girls of the school, and they're horrible people and they're jealous, and it's very important to Rosie that she belongs, and these people just make it impossible for her to belong, and they constantly remind her that she doesn't belong and that she's not like them. And I think that that's also going to shape her into someone that I want her to be. Now I know it's like a lot of like negative things, but I want to include some of these realistic problems, because I think a lot of teenagers have body problems, or they're bullied, or and I think Rosie, for what we have to do with her, like her aspiration to become a serial romancer, how do you go there? How do you go from having a hardworking mom to being a serial romancer? Why doesn't she take after her mom, for example? Or Danielle, like Danielle's a serial romancer, but she never really stayed with her, so I wouldn't say that she got that from her, if that makes sense. Like, she didn't learn that from her. Unlike like Pepper, she only showed her hard work as well. She didn't bring over like 20 different girls, or you know what I mean. I love how she's checking herself out in all the mirrors. She doesn't have anyone that can really teach her how to be, a serial smoocher. And it's not like she watches a lot of TV as she just turns on the TV. I'm not sure where she got that from. So it made me think that perhaps it's an insecurity thing. And just go with me, right? Then let's think about it. She's been rejected by her mother, and her other mother, Pepper, has. Well, she hasn't expressed it, but she didn't deny it either, that she was an unwanted child. It was something that happened in the previous episode, which really caused this gap, this bridge between them, and it really made like Rosie hurt a lot. Like, it really did something to her. So you feel like you don't have love, or you're not loved enough, or not loved in the way that you want to. And Pepper already shows it in a really difficult way, because she finds it hard to express her emotions like that. So you don't feel loved. So what do? You're going to try and find it in other people. But then your first kiss with the boy turns out horrible, and everyone makes fun of you for that. And then it's all because you're ugly. And not because you're ugly, right? But because they tell her that she's ugly. Let me get that right. I think she's super cute. Like, come on, look at her face. She looks exactly like or Danielle. She looks a lot like Danielle, actually. I mean, she has red hair, obviously, which, is for the challenge, but she looks so much like Danielle. It's kind of crazy. And she also has, like, the little freckles that her mother has and stuff like that. She has Pepper's. She might have Pepper's nose, though. I think she definitely has Pepper nose. Maybe just imagine that. So you try to find love, but you're being rejected by everyone and then embarrassed. And when she got embarrassed the last time, she vowed to herself to never let that happen, and she would make everyone jealous of her. And this is a desire that she has right now, a plan, like an objective. It's not an option anymore. She has to do it. She made up her mind. She has to do this. If she doesn't do it, she's never going to get what she wants. She wants love. She wants attention. She wants to be found pretty and have friends, and she doesn't have any of that. So what's she gonna do? She's gonna try and be exactly how they want her to be. So it starts out with, tweezing her eyebrows, which seems like a minor thing, but if you do it because you want to, that's different than doing it because you feel like everyone else thinks it's ugly. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that starts. And then we're gonna slowly go crazy and obsess about it. Maybe we start with our body, but maybe then we change her hairstyle. Then maybe we change her face. Like, what if she goes for plastic surgery and then it just spirals out of control? And then she starts getting into one-night stands and romances and unobtainable, like, relationships and people. And, we're going to get to a point where little innocent Rosie is going to have multiple lovers. And I don't want to just be like, oh, she's a teen here, she's enjoying herself, boom, adult. let me just go down on the entire town. Like, I don't think so. That would make absolutely no sense. And I really like this storyline, and I know I should probably maybe kept it as a surprise or not talked about it as much, but actually playing it out, still different. Let me know what you guys think about that storyline. And as for Pepper, we're gonna have her around. I want Rosie to eventually move in with Danielle as well, so that's gonna be fun. I want to play out some episodes with Danielle in Danielle's house. So I don't know, I'm just really, really, really excited to start this next season. And I don't know, I just really, I know you guys have been requesting it so much, and I'm so excited to finally bring it back. I had some technical difficulties, but it seems like I always have those. It seems like I always have problems, and it just never ends. And like, when one is fixed, there's another problem. However, I still want to thank you so much for watching this first episode, or this first pilot episode. And if you aren't familiar with the challenge, I hope you have a bit of a better idea now. I might have left some things out, but that's just me. Especially because I had to record it in 2 parts with 2 softwares. Makes it a little bit difficult. Not impossible, but trying to piece things together day after recording, it's always a little bit more. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this channel, and hopefully I'm going to see you guys in the first episode coming out pretty soon. I can't promise you when. I'm not going to take you to the store, and I'm not going to take you over to Danielle. I was thinking about it, but we need some surprises, right? Like if I throw out all my cards right now, if I show you every household, every house, every store that we own, our everything, then what is there left for me to show you in the next episodes, right? So you're gonna see the store, I have to say the restaurant of Rosie's restaurant. You're gonna see that soon, and then we're gonna go over to Danielle's house as well, and we'll just do some like I said, some episodes there. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye.
I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh.